swift.
The energy, the attitude, the intent, which is very un-Australian from what we're used to seeing. How much of that now rests with the captain, Pat Cummins? What have you made of him tactically, and what sort of role do you think he has played and will have to play now, given the questions being raised on the attitude and intensity of this team?
It's always a difficult one because you rely on your fielders a lot to create energy in the field, but you can't do that unless the bowlers are backing you up. And by all means, Australia haven't bowled poorly. I mean, tactically, could Pat have stretched it a bit more in that first game and went Hazelwood one more and Stark one more, and really tried to blow that partnership open of KL and Virat? That's debatable. I mean, there'll be some that say yes, some that say no. I probably would have looked to do it because defending 200, you know that the game's not going to go 50 overs. So you can probably afford to push everyone further forward, exhaust all your resources, and if it goes to the back, you've either bowled them out or they're going to win. So
we also thought tactically in the first 30 overs against South Africa, they almost let them get too many. So that's the other question that's being raised on Cummins, the captain, as far as his tactics and bowling changes go. Yeah,
the only difference that I noticed between the two teams yesterday in the field was the South African fielders were really tight in the ring. Their point, cover, mid-wicket, mid-on and mid-off, they were all hustling in. So I know the batters felt a lot of pressure because they couldn't get off strike. So they're facing a lot of dot balls, not able to create any momentum in their innings through getting down the other end and getting your partner on strike. But on the flip side, Australia's been very standoffish. They've been hanging back on the ring. It just allows South Africa, new batters in particular, to get into their innings. And then you hit bad balls for 4 anyway. So, I mean, it just ticks along probably a little bit too quick. So maybe that's just a mindset change more than anything tactical.
There seems to always be a spotlight on Pat Cummins, the captain. And I guess whether I think it's fair or not to him, I think it's almost unfair to him, but the shadow being cast of Steve Smith as the option to be captain will always be there. And there are these sorts of games where you'll have reactions from fans or in the media go, Smith would have been a better captain. Do you sense in some way that also affects the dynamic of the team internally?
No, I don't think it would affect the dynamic because I know how much respect everyone has for Pat and his tactics. And Steve, he would lean on Steve a lot out there in the middle as well. So, yes, tactically, would Steve be a better option? I don't know. But it's hard to know unless you're out there and having the conversations in the dressing rooms and behind the scenes as to what exactly is being talked about. But, I mean, any time that you lose, pressure comes on the captain and the coach and the senior players, and that's expected.
We might say, oh, it's all going wrong for Australia. They've arguably played the two best teams in the first 2 weeks of this tournament. If they win every game from here, they go on to the semi-finals. Is there reason to believe that Australia can still turn it around?
Absolutely. I think if you look down the list of people who have had a huge impact in World Cups in the past, there's Warner, Smith, Maxwell, Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, Zampa, T20 World Cup. So there's so much quality in that side. And then you throw the smarts of Stoinis and Marnus Labuschagne in there, Mitch Marsh, who can be destructive. I mean, it's a side full of so much.
When you say it now, it still seems like, geez, this is a damn good side.
So much skills,
dangerous side.
So much talent. And I think if they can just get away from the game for a day or so, just to be able to just get back and I guess recharge their own batteries physically and mentally, but also find a way to just forget about the game. And then when that happens, you tend to be able to see the game and your performance a little bit from afar. You can remove yourself a little bit from being in the cauldron and the microscope being on you, and you can probably get a bit more of a balanced view on how you're going personally and what you can change either tactically, because it's so hard to change anything on such short notice. So all the skill is still there.
All right, Finchy, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts. Count Australia out this early in such a long tournament at your own peril, but it's been far from the ideal start for Pat Cummins and his side.
Stunning looks, then swift.